Hey, have you ever seen red just to make way more red? Do you find yourself always having to explain why your temper tantrum was justified?
I ain't got shit positive to say. If they play with you, crash the fuck out.
Well, congratulations, you might be a berserker. But what is a berserker? Well, make sure you rip off that tunic, won't be needing that shit. Try to push down all those emotions until you need to lose your mind, and never, ever stop fighting. Rage. It's an experience we're all gonna feel from time to time. Whether we've lost something important to us, had some lunatic ruin our perfectly good afternoon on some nonsense, or just read the news a little too long and fell into a pit of existential dread, it's okay to every once in a while blow off a little steam. Hell, when I've had a bad day, nothing sounds better than rearranging the jawline of the nearest bandit, goblin, or evil sorcerer that dared look in our direction. You hear something sassy from a smart aleck bard? How about we shove that flute up the pooch chute and see what kind of song it makes? What about the wizard with their math and their logic and, hey, stop breaking my beakers, I need those for science. Yeah, right. If we needed science, why would they make the scientists so easy to step on? The Berserker Barbarian is the epitome of the rage monkey stereotype. Crashing, thrashing, and smashing through the battlefield with all the full throttle, vein bulging, eye popping, muscle flexing mayhem one person can handle. And while other barbarians play around with the concept of being a little bit mad, they have no idea what it truly means to fully lose their shit. Once this barbarian goes full tilt, there's really little that can stop us. And while there may be a little bit of collateral damage, I guess, mostly to ourselves, it's more than worth it to unleash that sweet, sweet chaotic fury. First, do you want to experience an all-new system that focuses on gritty survival, glorious god-killing, and the thrill of adventure? Then let me be the first to introduce to you Grit and Glory, an all-new TTRPG system that helps you put even more control into the player's hands. Grit and Glory works off an action point system, making combat more dynamic and spellcasting a breeze. Use incredible new techniques with over 90 different weapons, all with unique fighting styles, or blast away foes with dangerous magic. They'll be warned of chaotic side effects, volatility, and dark arcana as the blood arts tempt you. Grit and Glory opens brand new on Kickstarter next Wednesday, September 24th, but you can hit the link below right now to get notifications on launch, or to keep up to date, make sure you click that other link to visit the Grit and Glory YouTube page for tips and tricks on how to utilize this awesome system to the fullest. Just remember to leave a like and a comment to tell them Yimba sent ya. A huge thanks to the folks over at Grit and Glory for sponsoring the show. And now, back to the video. So you want to learn how to work yourself into a pissy fit so intense you spontaneously start spitting catchphrases. Well, the obvious place to start is as a barbarian. All barbarians get access to halving all incoming bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage as long as we aren't wearing heavy armor, gaining advantage on strength checks and saves, and extra damage on attack rolls as long as we're ending tussles with our meaty muscles. We also get unarmored defense, making our AC equal to our dex and constitution modifiers, letting us flex so hard it can deflect bullets. Danger sense at level 2 for advantage on traps and dex saves you can see. Reckless attack to give yourself advantage on every melee attack in your round just in case you want to go buck wild. And primal knowledge at level 3 to learn stuff. Well, that's useless. But that means we've struck a nerve, started to seethe, and are ready to unleash our inner frenzy. Now, anytime during our rage, we can dig even deeper into ourselves, pulling out a primal, insatiable fury. During this frenzy, we can unleash an extra attack as a bonus action, dealing even more damage per turn, but when we finally calm down, we will suffer from a level of exhaustion. But that's fine. Nothing bad has ever happened from being exhausted, right? Anyway, 5th level means extra attack for 2 attacks per round or 3 during a fury, as well as fast movement to get where we're going in a hurry. Which means it's now level 6 where we'll find ourselves in a mindless rage. The age-old trick for any DM to make an encounter extra hard is to get the rage monkey in a trance and then turn them on the party. But this mean old method is completely lost on us, because as soon as we enter a rage, whether frenzied or not, we can no longer be charmed or frightened by anyone or anything.
Should I go into a rage? Go into a rage and fuck them up.
Okay, I'm gonna go into a rage, and then I have mindless rage, so I can't be charmed or frightened while raging.
Whoa!
Got him, dog. Got him.
Therapist be damned. Sometimes it pays to be a little off balance.
On balance, off balance, doesn't matter. I'm better than you are, yeah.
7th level gets us Feral Instinct and Instinctive Pounce, giving you advantage on initiative rolls and the ability to move half your speed on the turn you enter the rage. Level 9's Brutal Critical becomes pretty pivotal when you can smash down baddies with another weapon die anytime you land a critical hit, but it's level 10 where we develop the Intimidating Presence. Turns out being a 7-foot lunatic with a bad case of crazy eyes is pretty helpful for making normal people wish they were wearing Huggies. Now you can spend your action to stare at any creature within 30 feet and force them to succeed a wisdom saving throw, or on a failure, become frightened by you until the end of your next turn. You may also use your action to extend this effect, but if they haven't run by now, they're gonna wish they did. 11th level gets us Relentless Rage. As though we aren't already relentlessly efficient at turning goblins into soup, now we can't even die without putting up a fight, as this lets us bounce back from dropping to 0 hit points by passing a Constitution save. Level 13 means another Brutal Critical die. That means 2 for you to do bad stuff. But it's level 14 where we gain our final Berserker ability with Retaliation. And luckily it's pretty simple, as I can feel that Barbarian attention span slipping, but this lets us spend our reaction to make yet another attack anytime a creature within 5 feet hits us first. So for those keeping score, that's 2 attacks per round, 3 with a frenzy, and 4 if anybody smacks us. But hey, who's counting? Definitely not us. So we'll wrap up with the classics like Persistent Rage at level 15, meaning we only drop rage when we feel like it or fall unconscious. Another Brutal Critical die at level 17, so that's 3 for me to do more bad stuff. Indomitable Might at level 18, so that no strength checks can be lower than our strength score, just in case you feel like playing softball with a tank. And finally, our capstone is Primal Champion, increasing our strength and constitution scores by 4 to a maximum of 24. As our muscles become so ridiculously ripped, they even tear a hole straight through the skill ceiling. But does the Berserker make me lose my mind? No. Unfortunately, the Berserker, while having a lot of things that sound cool on paper, just doesn't have the sauce to back it up. For example, a free extra attack on every round sounds incredible, but the cost of taking exhaustion just to use your primary ability is really tough. It more or less encourages you to not use this at all, because taking more than 1 point of exhaustion is devastating to a long day of adventuring. Not to mention, when you finally get the ability to rage forever, you can just flip this on and off 6 times in a row to kill yourself outright, which is, you know, insane. I really want this subclass to be good. Hell, literally 2 of my favorite characters ever are Berserkers, but my boy just gets outclassed by a mile from all the other barbarians. What sucks about this is that I really like the idea of a barbarian that hurts itself to gain extra stuff during a rage. I think not only does it harken back to what we kind of think of as a classic barbarian, you know, a shirtless, unhinged psycho with a sword and no fear of taking hits, but I really think you could have pulled this off better. Maybe a system where Frenzy makes you take your own rage damage every turn or something, you know, a little less insane. The 2024 version takes the Frenzy in a completely different direction, and while I really like that take on it, it does pretty much do away with the give and take aspect of this ability, and I do think that part is a shame. I want there to be stakes, I want to feel invested in my big frenzied idiot, and I think there's a way to do it without nerfing you for 1 or multiple days of campaigning. Not to shit on my guy too much here, but the other abilities don't fare much better. Mindless Rage is probably your best one out of the bunch, as it pretty much makes you immune to domination and fear effects, but Retaliation is way too weak in my opinion, and Intimidating Presence is more or less unusable. So yeah, unfortunately the Berserker is a bit of a frustrating mess. Believe me, I want to love it, I really do. But this subclass just doesn't keep up with anything that came with or after it. However, there is hope for our boy. The 2024 version is actually good, even if I think it's a departure from what I kind of think of as the Berserker. But if you want to maintain that sacrifice for gained balance, you absolutely can. There are revised versions of this specific Barbarian that are actually pretty good. Or you can just do the thing Pathfinder does and give yourself a negative on every subsequent attack while frenzying. Look it up, it actually fits pretty well here. So I guess that about sums it up. I love this subclass from a lore and flavor perspective, but mechanically it's kind of a downer to play. That doesn't mean you can't have great characters, though. I mean, there's a reason we all know and love Grog, and it's not just the sexy beard. Again, I just wish this subclass was better designed from the jump. There's a lot of potential here. But 2024 does come out with a new one, so I guess we'll just have to wait to find out more about that next time. But if you're a little too crazy for even the other barbarians, are so laser focused on mayhem you can shake off mind control and can work yourself into a rage so intense you accidentally turn your brain off, guess what? You might be a berserker. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. The Berserker might not be the best barb in the bunch, but it's going to give me plenty to talk about on next week's But Is It Better? So get ready for that. I've got plenty to say about the 2024 version, so that will be fun. Speaking of that, a lot of you have been really excited to see the new format, and I'm also excited to keep doing more, so that's cool. However, the views on that video have been weirdly low on anything I've done. In fact, YouTube views on a lot of channels have been going down in general, and that seems to be connected to this new restricted mode crap. I would suggest turning that off if you want to continue to see my stuff, because I would bet a shiny nickel it's blocking a ton of my content. But if you made it this far, I'm just glad you waded through the waters of idiotic AI censorship and were nice enough to hang around. If you like what I do, a like or a comment or a hype, I guess, goes a long way in supporting the channel. And if you really like what I do, you can personally support the show for just $1 over on Patreon, with top-tiered patrons getting games DM'd by me. So to those guys, Spider Lover, Sorison, King Osiris, Tedsy, Miles Not Yards, Yuki, Copper Dragon, Epic Medic, Spellslinger, and John Spees, you all are the best. To everyone else, thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.